During the pandemic, I did a series of bucket lists. And then those were transferred over here when I created this channel in 2021 as part of the legislation when I worked at Cedar Point. Since then, I've been able to study abroad in Madrid. So let's do a little update on that bucket list. I'm Lindsay. You're watching History and Leisure. Be sure to follow on Instagram, Threads, Bluesky, History_Leisure, as well as a Substack and my second channel, History and Leisure Echoes, where I post copyright-free footage and bonus material. Number 10. Return to Dinkelsville for Kinderzuck. One of my early blog posts on the Substack was about the origins of Kinderzuck Festival in Dinkelsville, Germany, which is one of the towns my tour stayed at back in 2016. In Florida Basin town are close by. You can easily go to dates from Nuremberg and Legoland, Deutschland. Just easily the Legoland for thrill seekers with its Gersauer Skyfly, B&M Wing, and the last row bar attraction in the chain. The other stables such as Miniland, the Dragon Coaster, and Ninjago the ride, this park also has an aquarium and log flume and a whole host of lodging of its own, counting the summer holiday travel market. Skyline Park is just south of that, but that's been on some shaky ground lately. While something I would go on my way for, it's not that as high since this is more of a recommendation for families than a solo or adult only group trip, but this is also something I have to do at least once. Number 9. Garda, Italy. Going back to thinking about Americans Abroad again is one of our lunch stops. Our last stop in Italy before we crossed into Austria was in the Garda region, between our Venice base of Urbano Terme and the town of Westendorf in Austria. The Garda area is just south of the Alps, home to two theme parks. The well-known Gardaland and the more infamous Movieland, which end up with Two-Face the Flip Side from Six Flags America. The latter also has some rare rides like an intimate freefall and apparently an old-school carnival simulator is the main reason for the rethemed K6 Royal Intelligence and a new Western theme area while Gardaland hasn't done much since their Legoland Water Park. Number 8. Energylandia in Poland. This park put Poland on the map for roller coasters. While tapering off post-pandemic, I find it wrong I left this off my original list. Poland has a decent rail network from what I've seen. There's definitely history and large other parks I tack on if I actually went into planning to visit the country. I feel like I mostly went to visit Versailles and the memes at this point. Number 7. Phantasialand. Phantasialand in Journey was originally much higher on my original list, and don't get me wrong, this should be on every enthusiast's bucket list on how it looks. But the Rhine-Ruhr region is worth a week to explore in its own right, on top of Phantasialand and Movie Park, Germany. You have the suspended modern Wuppertal, chance to return to Koblenz, the crazy train network connecting the cities. Maybe it feels like it's been a few years of things have been relatively the same, but maybe they'll do something cool in the near future. Number 6. Hansa Park. What was once the second Legoland in the world has grown to a well-regarded thrill park among coaster enthusiasts. It's currently on a stub and branch that will soon become a key core between Germany and the Nordics once the Fehmarn Belt fixed link is operational in the early 2030s. Making it easy to tag onto a more Denmark-focused trip. So, speaking of Denmark, it's number 5 of doing a whole Denmark trip, but mostly for the original Legoland. It'll be nice to visit the oldest theme parks in the world, and maybe the first fully automated commuter rail in the world with Copenhagen's S-Tog. At one point, I planned to try and go to the opening of Phoenix at Philips and track on Legoland on the trip, as we'll then fly into Lyon for Wallaby and Cannes, but I scaled back to a sailboat with Euro Park instead. While building cut from the country's rail network, there's an indoor water park and the Legos in the vicinity as well. Number 4 is the Netherlands. I've known the Netherlands is not just bikes before the saying was a thing. It's more than just Amsterdam too, with Efteling and Toverland in the south. Pretty easy to add to a Rhine-Ruhr trip. We have Walibi Holland and Flevoland, the only man-made province, at least for the Netherlands. Looks like Harlem's a pretty good northern base at Hellendoorn and probably a summer folk festival in their hometown of Groningen. Like, how many music festivals have you seen bike parking mentioned on the website? Number 3. PortAventura. Of all the parks I visited in Spain, I missed out on the big one. PortAventura and Faro Island in Tarragona. I figured it would be open year-round and could squeeze in between J-term and the main semester. I could not. PortAventura easily number 1 on that list when I do get back to Spain alongside Gaunt City Escape, and maybe Basque Country too. Number 2 is Paris. I've held off wanting to go to Paris as I really want to do this with my mom, since her mom was born there in February of 1940. Beyond this well-known transit bones and of course Disneyland Paris and the recently rechristened Disney Adventure World is Parc Asterix and Mer de Sable on the fringe of the Transilien network. I discovered in the Compagnie des Alpes area that there are interstate buses from downtown to Parc Asterix, so it would be easy to do a solo day trip on paper to park. Asterisk, Meredith Saba, not so much. I don't mind giving that park a miss for any reason. I take more culture and save the money even though it looks pretty good for its scale. Number 1. Return to Westendorf in Austria. Source, I've only seen vlogs of the place in winter since it's a big ski town here in the Alps. Not really a sports guy, so I feel summer hiking opportunities are slept on. Like Mark and Evan. I'll give you a itinerary of things to do outside of theme parks there. Like that could either include starting in Rome and then continuing up through Bologna, Verona, and the Garda parks, or landing at Venice's airport and taking a train straight to Garda. Prater, Family Park, Fantastiano Locuno, but going to a glass boat in the smallest town that comes with Hintertux Glacier, like, come on. There's a reason why we collectively chose Westendorf as number 1 destination. It's a beautiful alpine town we got to spend the most time in. 4 nights, suffered church bells ringing at dawn, long day trips at the Salzburg and Hintertux, but we all just got to explore and got to share a night with the American Music Abroad tour there. Sometimes it's the shortest lived relationships that have the most impact on us. And speaking of that whole bracket thing I just mentioned, that is what I am revisiting next time as a 10th anniversary special of my time with American Music Abroad. So until then, comment, subscribe, and strike the bell.